If you're running ads without these 3 things, there is a really good chance that you are wasting money. Can you still get leads without them? Sure. But most businesses cap out at like 2x, 3x, 5x return on investment because they skip the foundation. The businesses getting 10x, 20x, even 100x ROI, they almost always have these things in place first. And the crazy part is most agencies never even bring this up. Here are the 3 things that every local business needs before they run ads. Ads fail for an array of different reasons. It almost seems like a lot of business owners approach ads as kind of like this magic pill. I pay money, I get leads, I get sales, everything is happy, we're done, we're good. As long as I'm running ads, then the lights stay on, basically. The truth is that ads are only about 20% of a selling system. Right? The funnel that is your company, right? Ads are at the very top. They bring in new people. What happens after that? So all of that real money is made after the click of the ad. Yes, the ad brings them in the door, but that's about all it does. Everything else that happens after that is what is so important and what everybody kind of just passes by. And sometimes what that looks like is a very weak system that sits behind the ads. Somebody fills out the ad, right? Think instant form on Facebook. You get that information. Now it's up to you to actually call that person, text that person, reach out to that person. And at the end of the day, the system behind it just isn't that strong. Yes, some people will take that list of leads that are coming in through the ad and they will chase them until the ends of the earth, which is awesome. But a lot of people, a lot of business owners, that's not really how they want to grow. And so you want kind of supporting pieces that make your job a little bit easier, even if you're not like the top salesperson at your company as like a business owner or whatever else. You want to have certain pieces in line that increase the probability that a person who fills out an ad or comes in to your funnel will actually reach out to you and be excited to work with you. And there are 3 pillars that actually need to be in place for this to happen. And the first pillar is your Facebook page. So whenever you're running ads, typically you're doing them on Meta. Usually that's where a lot of people start because Meta is 2 billion active monthly users. It is one of the best platforms to run ads because it has a very smart algorithm. It has people from all walks of life with all different budgets, with all different interests. And it's just one of the best places to start running ads, especially as a new business owner. So what happens whenever you run an ad on Meta is people will see the ad. You want to have a really good offer, obviously, for that. But what people will do is they will see the business name and they will click on that to go and check out your profile and see if it's a legitimate business or a scam or whatever else. People in 2026 are very focused on not getting scammed online, right? We have AI all over the place. Like people have to protect themselves. And that's just a huge piece of being online in general. So you want your Facebook page to look legit. You want it to look like an actual business. So that means that you want to have a strong profile picture. Your banner should be good. You should be posting semi-consistently, even if it's once a week. You just want to have some kind of motion, some kind of movement on the page. That way it signals to people who are looking at your ads, hey, this is a real person, or hey, this is a real business. And there's a real person behind the keyboard. I actually could do business with this person. They seem legit. And if you get reviews on Facebook, bonus points. So I'll show you on screen really quick what a strong business page looks like versus what a weak business page looks like. You can pick out a lot of the things immediately. For example, the logo or the profile picture, the banner, it's a lot higher quality. It actually kind of explains what the business does. There's just a lot more detail put into it and it looks very professional. Likewise, the information on the page is going to vary, right? One has a ton of information about the business. The other one is just very bland, very blah, it could be run by a business owner or it could be run by a scammer. You don't really know. And then of course, one has had recent posts while the other one has been just kind of sitting dormant or just doesn't have any posts at all. So Facebook is usually kind of the first line of defense for you. It is what proves your legitimacy, your credibility in the eyes of somebody who's looking to actually start working with you. They see your ad, it speaks to them directly, they stop the scroll, they click on your profile picture. So you want to make sure that that business page that they just clicked on is good to go. It's not unprofessional. it's good to go. And that is a huge help for people. The second pillar is Google Business Profile. This is something that is incredibly important for all local businesses out there. If you have a Google Business Profile and you don't have information on it, you don't have reviews on it, it's not up to date, you are really shooting yourself in the foot whenever it comes to running ads or even just getting leads in your area, because you're just not going to be showing up. The more reviews you have, the more accurate information, the better. So one thing that I would say is if you just don't have a Google Business Profile at all, you absolutely should get one as soon as humanly possible, like tomorrow, today, when you're watching this. The next thing that I would say is try to get some reviews on there and make sure that the information is up to date. Google Business Profile is the easiest one out of these three to just put in place, and you can kind of set it and forget it. Just make sure that you're trying to get reviews consistently, because again, as soon as somebody sees your ad, there's a good chance they're going to look up your business. And if you don't have a Google Business Profile or you don't have reviews or it seems fishy, it's going to throw some red flags for people, and you don't want that. And the final pillar that we're going to talk about is a website. Now, your website doesn't have to be insane. It doesn't have to be 50 pages with tons of SEO and, videos and everything like that. None of that. All it has to be is a professionally built website that looks good. As long as somebody lands on it and goes, I'm not going to give away my credit card number to some scammer, that is a good sign. There's kind of a cardinal sin that we talk about is if your website is an online brochure, that's not a good website. However, in this case, having a website that just looks professional, even if all it does is inform people about when you're open, the services or products that you have, whatever else, very basic information, that's totally fine for this phase. You just want to get the foundation down before running ads, because it really helps you compound the value that you're getting back from those ads. Like I said, our goal is to go from 2 to 5 X ROI to 10, 20, 100X ROI. And having just a decent website, something that doesn't look like it was made in 5 minutes, or something that doesn't look sketchy, make sure that you have an SSL on it, just basic stuff like that. That is the most important part to pillar 3, just having a professional website. It helps so much with credibility. And again, it just places you as a professional business. And to just give you a little bit of extra information, these 3 pillars are the foundation. Everything else that we talk about at Paper Ghost Digital is built on top of those foundations. Those are in place. You launch ads. What comes next is the follow-up. You want to make sure that you have a very, very specific follow-up system in place. It doesn't matter if it's manual. It doesn't matter if it is automated. The best is both worlds, right? Send out automated emails after somebody signs up and have a salesperson call them. That is the best way to get the best results. And I can't tell you how many people I've helped grow their business through ads, and the follow-up is always the most important part, and it is the part that most business owners will have trouble with, which we will be getting more into the follow-up on this channel, so make sure that you are subscribed. I would even go as far as to say you can run mediocre ads as long as you have a super strong follow-up system on the back end. If you do that, then those ads that come in, they get handled with white gloves. They get reached out to on time. They're not sitting in your CRM for 15 days before you say, oh, we got an ad, we got a lead. Let's call them. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that that system is in place. Time to lead or speed to lead is incredibly important. Somebody comes in within 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is for you guys. You want to reach out to that person and you want to be in their face and say, hey, I saw you signed up for this. How can we help? Just so that you're there, so that they don't say, this person doesn't care about me. I'm going to move on to the next construction company or, dog walker, lawnmower, whatever it is. It helps so much to get to those leads quickly. I want to give you a really good example of how this works. If you have the systems in place, you can see incredible ROI on your campaigns. So what we did in January of 2026 is we actually ran a campaign to indie authors, and we reached out to them and we wanted to show indie authors how to sell their book. So what we did was we ran $200. It was $192 in ads. And by the end of the month, we ended up generating about $34,000 in revenue. So if you're unfamiliar, that is a 177x ROI. That is completely unheard of. Alex Hermosi gets some of those numbers. I think his is like 134 or something like that. Mind you, this is only for one campaign, not our entire career. His is for his entire career because he's a beast. But we managed to do this so well because we had a good offer, we had a good ad, and we had amazing follow-up. We reached out to people within minutes. I mean, even on weekends, we were calling people, texting people, reaching out to people. And it helped that the offer got them in the door because the offer was so strong. It was a free one-on-one masterclass for them on how to sell your book, how to get more sales of your book. And so that for a lot of authors is just critical, crucial. They can't live without it. They want to sell more of their books. So as soon as they sign up, we call them. They answer the phone. You know what I mean? That's kind of how ads are. But getting these first 3 pillars in place is incredibly important because if you don't look like a legitimate business, it doesn't matter how many times you're calling or texting or, your speed to lead. None of the other stuff really comes into play if you don't look like a legitimate business. If somebody thinks that they're going to get scammed or robbed or whatever else, it really hurts your odds. Make sure that you have these 3 key pieces in place before you ever decide to run ads. So if you are a local business owner who wants to build a real lead system, not just run ads and hope, I'll link my free lead machine challenge below. We walk you through building your first real lead generation system step by step. The challenge is completely free. You need a small ad budget to test what you build. And if you're not ready for that, keep watching the channel because I break this down for free because most businesses don't need more confusion. They just need better systems. I'll see you in the next one.